Kona 1011. Good morning, Angel.
Good morning. How are you, Dave?
I'm good. How are you, Cheryl Ladd?
Great.
Well, thank you for spending a few minutes with us this morning to talk about what's happening on the 26th at the Charlene McCombs Empire Theater. Congratulations, by the way. You're still involved in so many projects.
I am. I'm keeping very busy. I'm loving Texas.
Very busy, from helping feed the poor in Haiti to Hope and Faith, from feedthepoor.org, anger management, being Mrs. Claus in Santa Paws, one of my favorite dog movies. Being married to
And I
James.
just finished an episode of Ray Donovan.
Man, what a great show.
Fabulous show.
What are you doing
Yeah,
on Ray
very interesting. Oh, a very interesting woman.
Yeah? Well, we're going
You
to
know
have to
the
watch.
show. It's kind of complex and interesting.
Oh, it is. It is.
And so entertaining.
It's
Yeah,
very,
great
and
acting,
so
great
well.
writing.
The writing, the acting, it is really incredible what they're doing these days on the cable television. Hey, and now congratulations on getting married to James Caan.
That was no easy task.
I know. You had to get in line for that. So you are living here in South Texas now, and I know
Yes.
people love seeing you at the store, and they're going, wait a minute, you're an angel.
You know, it's so cute because sometimes people say, "Oh, hi, how are you? Oh my gosh, did I go to high school with you?" They know my face, but they don't expect to see me. But now they do because a lot of people know I live here in the area. So
That's
it's fun.
beautiful. So now we have more than 100 students from 35 local high schools. They've all been working on this project called the Las Casas Foundation Art Scholarship, and $100,000 is up for grabs. How did you get involved with this?
The wonderful Charlene McCombs invited me to a luncheon, and we got connected through our mutual friend Stephanie Zimbalist. Do you know who Stephanie is? She was on
yeah.
Remington Steele, brilliant stage actress, and
Ephraim.
dear friend of mine,
Ephraim's
and a
kid.
dear friend of Charlene's.
Yeah.
That's right. Ephraim was her dad, and one of my dearest friends.
Oh, yeah.
We lived in the same area in California when I was there. Anyway, so Charlene and I started talking, and she wanted to tell me about Las Casas and about the scholarship fund, and invited me to come to a board meeting. And they asked me if I would be interested in kind of joining in the merry little band of it. And of course, I said yes. There is nothing I enjoy more than watching young people develop their talents. To be any part of that, I just feel just honored and happy to do it, because as a child, it's all I ever wanted to do. Sing and dance. You know, you talk about a song in your heart. From the time I was very young, I responded to music and dance and film and acting and everything. The die was cast very early for me. So I am such a supporter of young talent and young supporters of the arts in general. I just think it's a fabulous organization, and I'm just excited to be part of it. It's going to be so much fun.
It's happening Sunday evening on April 26th at the Charlene McCombs Empire Theater. Tickets are only $10, and folks can get them right there at the door. What is your advice, Cheryl Ladd, to these kids? You've not only done it all in entertainment, you're still doing it today. What is your advice for longevity in entertaining?
Well, I think, just staying focused, being able to accept a lot of rejection, because there are a lot of no's and a handful of yeses. And when you get those yeses, give it all you've got. Just be ready. Part of being an actor or a singer or a dancer is to be ready and keep your instrument tuned up. And I guess that would be my advice. And then just dedicate yourself to it and love it. And as I said, the rejection part is really hard, because so often it isn't really about your talent, especially as an actor. You have to fit in certain areas, like if you were the daughter of, and they've already cast the mother, and you don't look like that person. I don't care how good you read the part. You're probably not going to get it, because they have a certain idea of what the child of a certain older actor is going to look like and how they should fit into the family. So there are so many elements about getting work in the industry that have very little to do with your talent.
And that is, I think,
really
one of the
kind of
elements.
hard to wrap your mind around it.
One of the elements you're talking about is going on auditions. It's okay to get the rejection. The audition is part of the process so that you stay top of mind. So they go, wait a minute, I need that Cheryl Ladd type to play this part.
Right. absolutely right. You just have to keep at it. Get through the door. Get a good agent. Get people that will help you get through the door. Because if you can't get through the door, how are you going to get the chance at showing your skill? So it's a very complicated, very difficult business. But if you're an artist and that's where your heart is, that's where your soul is, it's really, if you're anything like I was, nobody was going to talk me out of it. I was determined and fortunate that I didn't have to have another job. My first job in California was very glamorous. I was the voice of a cartoon character on Josie and the Pussycats. That was my very first job.
How did you fall into Charlie's Angels?
Well, let's see. I was a 7-year overnight success.
Yeah.
I did a lot of small parts. I went to acting class twice a week for probably 7 years and continued to work at my craft to the best of my ability. But then I would do a lot of small parts. The very first few parts I had where I would have a line as, are you ready for your drink, sir? Or, those kind of, it's okay though, because learning your craft at that time was by doing it. You really took every opportunity to take a step at a time, and I really learned my craft in front of a camera a step at a time, which was very fortunate. Then I had worked for Aaron in a couple of The Rookies and in a couple of other programs that he had, and I did a movie with Kate, as a matter of fact, Kate Jackson, called Satan's School for Girls. And then I auditioned for the part of the daughter on a show called Family, that Aaron had on the air, and got very close to getting that part. And then when Sarah left, Aaron asked me if I would take her place. So he was very aware of my work. This is the point. Your big break might not be what you think it's going to be, and it may come in a really odd, roundabout way when somebody sees you, and yet then you are the one. But you have to keep at it and keep at it and keep being, as you said, Dave, being present, being out there, putting yourself out there, so that the opportunities will continue.
And sometimes you don't get what you think you want, and I love this expression, God's saying, wait a minute, I've got something better for you. Just wait.
Right. Sometimes you do that, and sometimes the opportunity train comes, and you better jump on it.
Yeah. Even Conan O'Brien was talking in an interview recently. He said, you have to fail at something 37 times, and on the 38th try, that's when his breakthrough came through, and he finally got his own nighttime show.
Right. You never know. You never know what your path is going to be, and your path is not going to be like anybody else's. All the little stepping stones are going to be, it's your own path.
And what's great about this gift that you have, and that a lot of artists have, is you're willing to share it, and you get to keep it by sharing it. Because when you give it to somebody else, you go, that's the gift right there. And you don't let it stop with you. You let it flow through you. And that's the beauty of you being the artist that you are.
Oh, well, thank you. It's exciting for me to watch young talent developing and seeing the hunger and seeing just the gifts that God has breathed into these young people. That's why I just encourage people to come and really support this program, because it is truly, truly, truly one of the best gifts you can give artists is by supporting them, enjoying them, watching their path. I think we're going to be seeing young artists that will have big careers, and you can be there at the beginning with these artists, and it's really a wonderful thing to share.
I love it. Eva Longoria was sharing the story with me when she was growing up in Corpus Christi. She lied to the manager of Wendy's when she was 15 because she needed the job so that she could be a beauty queen. She needed the money. You never know.
Bless your heart, whatever it takes. I know. I lied to get my first job too. I was asked to audition to be a singer, to go into these nightclubs and sing, and I said I was 18. Of course, I was just about to be 16. So, yeah, whatever it takes. And then I had to go explain to my parents that I had gotten a job to sing in nightclubs.
Oh, wow.
That was kind of a difficult conversation.
I used to work with Nina Blanchard out in Hollywood before I came to San Antonio. And the agencies would call her up and say, okay, how tall is Cheryl Teagues? And Nina would say, how tall do you want her to be?
Exactly. Exactly. and especially when I was there in the 70s, you'd fill out your resume, and you could ride horses, and you could fence, and you could play tennis, and you could ski, and of course, I couldn't do very many of those things, and certainly not very well.
I went to school too.
But
I didn't go.
said, yes, I can.
I went to acting school when I was in college in California. Then I went to radio school in Hollywood, and that's where I made my mistakes. That's what I tell the kids when we visit schools. Do not be afraid to fail this test. This is a test. This is getting you ready for real life, and that's how you will learn. And my audition tape was horrible, but you know what got me my first job in radio is on my resume. I had the American Conservatory Theater from San Francisco on there because I went there in the 70s. And the program director says, Dave, if you can do that, you can do radio.
And Dave, with this voice, that gift of that voice you have, we haven't met each other, have we?
No, but we must.
No.
We simply must.
And we shall.
Yes, we shall.
But the voice, I could just sit and listen to your voice all day, and I guess with that, your theater background and that gift of that voice that God gave you, you're doing what you should be doing.
Yeah. Well, I'll get, this is theater of the mind right here on Kono 101 Wood, but I'll get back on the stage at some point. And have you been to the local theaters? Have you been to the Playhouse, and have you met the Sherivinos?
Yes, I've been to the Majestic, but not any of the local theaters. No.
You have some great local theater, and you got great theater in Bernie too.
We have. Actually, I'm on the board of Bernie Performing Arts, and they are really, really expanding and broadening their horizons and bringing in some wonderful, wonderful acts. And I'm just happy to be part of that. Hi, everybody. This is Cheryl Ladd. Will you join us April 26th for the Las Casas Foundation Scholarship event? It's going to be fantastic, and you are going to see some amazing young people that are talented beyond belief. Don't miss it. Come and join us. And you're hearing San Antonio's greatest hits on Kona 1011.